Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jeff Ahern Show. Good to see you all. Hope you're having a great weekend. I feel like it's a little darker than usual in here, but that's all right. You can all see me. Maybe this lighting will help. I'm so white, I'm so pasty. I feel like maybe less light is beneficial. I am a white guy. We're gonna do. Anyway, I got some good news, good announcement today. I'm going to be not yet. Give me a weekend. I'm going to be on Cameo. So Cameo reached out to me. So if you want to get a greeting, a birthday greeting, a pep talk, or just a general, maybe bash on some Democrats you don't like, or how about this one? You got a friend who's liberal and you want me to talk smack to him. Okay, those are your choices. So that's not up yet, but hopefully by next week. Next Friday, next show here, I will, it'll be up and I'll give you the link and everything. You can check that out. So yeah, and then get it for the holidays or just for a birthday. I don't want to wait till the holidays. That's a few months away. All right. So that being said, let's get into the news. But I am excited about that. So thank you very much. Also, shout out to Jeremy's Razors, Ahern 15 for 15% off of razors at jeremysrazors.com, and check out my website, jeffahern.com. Okay, all the plugs are out of the way. All right, here we go. Fox News, Biden administration allies dismiss cocaine discovery as GOP fodder, political bullet, and then S and then the dash T, which you can probably figure out what that is. Okay, Joe. Okay, Biden allies. Here's the thing. It can only be political fodder if you have a drug-addled son. Otherwise, you can't really be like, oh, you found coke in the White House. Oh, that's unfortunate. The thing that makes it fodder is your son's a notorious crack addict, kicked out of the Navy, I think, for it, or alcoholism. I think it was coke. This is why he was kicked out of the Navy. That was back in, 2012 or whatever it was, 14, who knows. And your son is on laptops doing crack with hookers and, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, sex trafficked women. And he's exchanging, he's out, shilling you for bribes, for your influence, so without that, there's no fodder. You have fodder because you have you're insanely corrupt, Joe, and your son is your bag man. So therein is the fodder. Without that, nobody really cares. Someone did coke at the White House. The issue is your son, you dummy. And you. I mean, allegedly, you're taking bribes. If you look at Hunter's a Snapchat picture of him laying it, hey, my dad's next to me. That's you, Joe, by the way. My dad, I think. Let's assume it. I feel like he's crafty and gritty and greasy enough that I'm pretty sure he's a Biden. Your lineage, your genes, Joe. So he's selling right next to you. You're right next to him. He's like, give me $5 million. Give me $5 million. I'm gonna blacklist you with my old man, my buddy Joe next to me. It's laid out. It's right there. Snapchat. No one denies that it's not real, but no one's covering it. No one on the left. No, and so thank God we got the House. People are like, oh, we just got the House. Thank God we got the House, because these investigations would have never been open. And the wonderful news is, the floodgates have opened because the liberal media no longer has a monopoly on information. The social media outlets are starting to, under the pressure of financial losses, having to open up to more voices. And you've got places like Twitter now where it's wide open, and you can just say, and places like Rumble, where you can just say truth and not have it taken down because you're speaking truth that hurts the left. It's a glorious time that we're finally getting back truth that was taken away, that was squelched, that was just ripped from us by a bunch of leftist nuts, and then their voters are just like, yeah, okay, this is good, yeah. So that's why it's fodder, Joe. It's not political BS. What's political BS is the fact that you haven't been impeached. What's political BS is that we have a mainstream media that covers none of your graft and corruption, that's laid out. I mean, it's follow the bouncing ball type simplicity in terms of seeing the graft as far back as when you were running for president. Before then, too, of course, the FBI was sitting on all that back then too. But it's readily available, and I've said this before. But there's never been a better time to be a journalist than right now. There's more stuff. There's more low-hanging fruit to talk about and have stories about than ever. But the irony is the liberal media can't touch any of it because it's all leftist. It's all none of it's good for the
Yeah, I have a question for you because a friend of
sure.
mine actually brought it up and everything, and he looked at the media and he was like, "Wait a minute, the media is actually owned by a lot of folks that are actually conservative to moderate, or at least that's what their owners are, because they've actually given a lot of money to the Republican parties." But that's what my good friend Jacoby. He was like, "Liberal media? How is it a liberal media when they're actually
Oh my
owned by
God.
folks that are not actually liberal?"
Oh, I mean, where do I begin, Mark? Do we want to go down the list? CBS, MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC, Yahoo, AP News, Reuters. I mean, all you have to do, you
Wait a
got this
minute.
huge corruption scandal. Check all of them, or just look for the Coke one. The Coke one is that's clickbait, Mark. That's money in the bank. You put a Coke story up in the White House, that's an advertising bonanza. Everyone's clicking on that. Look at the news outlets that don't have that up, that aren't covering it. ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, Washington, all of these, New York Times, you name it. And the
Well,
Times
like quite a
buried
well,
the
quite
corruption
a few of
story.
them were covering it. Our good folks in Britain were covering it. They actually said that they think that it was an area not by Hunter but by the tourists, because they were hungover. It was 4th of July, and apparently it was an area that is very accessible to tour groups. So where they found it at was actually where the tour groups were. So they're thinking that a hangover tourist accidentally just left the bag laying around because he was hungover and left the bag there stuck in a corner. And that's actually what even NBC and some of the other networks have
Oh
said,
well,
is
if
that it is
NBC
near
said it, then it's got
is
to be
it's
true.
an
Then
entrance
I
near
believe
where
it.
the vehicles are and all in that space. So
Hey,
apparently it's in a heavily trafficked area for both tourists and staff to walk by. So it could have been
well,
a staff
here's the
member.
thing: they've
It could have
moved
been a
the
tourist.
area 3 times. Like the area that they found the bag keeps changing, and it keeps changing to places that have more and more foot traffic. Like we need to expand the pool of potential criminals. Let's put this in the area where the most people come in. And I don't know if it's hunters, but it could very easily be hunters. It
Or it
doesn't
could be
have
some
to
tourists
be.
that just happened to come by. It was high as a
Uh,
kite and decided to come by there and everything. I do have to teach you
you're
that's the reason.
describing Hunter Biden. You just
Yeah,
described Hunter
no, I
Biden.
had to tease you about something though, because I have come up with a great idea. I think that all our listeners here on Pod TV would agree and everything. But before the show, we were looking at the various candidates, and we were at an even 12 in the Republican Party.
Too
I think
many.
we need to go for the baker's dozen, make it an even 13. So
It'll
go
happen.
ahead, Jeff, and declare your candidacy. You
All
will be
right.
the 13th candidate. Go ahead and declare the candidacy and make you the 13th candidate, because I think that y'all just
All
need
right.
an even 13 candidates, a baker's dozen. So let's go with the baker's dozen. I need you to hear that you are declaring for the presidency here on the Republican Party right now, and then we will have
All right. Hell
easily
yeah. I'll take it. I can use the PR. I am declaring my candidacy for the presidency of the United States for the Republican Party. And I feel like I might do better than Christie. I think I might pull more votes. Chris Christie. Ugh.
you actually may pull more votes and everything.
Uh,
You're gonna love this one, and I have to teach you about this as well, because apparently there is speaking of the press, there is a press person that one of the candidates has soured on, because are you ready for this? They said that she is too Trumpy. So apparently Trump has soured on Carrie Lake because she's too Trumpy. Wait a minute, how can you be too much liking you?
I had not heard that. So you're saying that Trump, that a reporter said that Trump has soured on Carrie Lake because she's too. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not buying that. I think if she's very pro Trump, I think Trump is very pro her. It's just
Well, like I said, she
call me
was a
crazy,
TV
but I
news
feel like that's not
anchor
likely.
turned Arizona gubernatorial candidate, and she claims in Trumpy fashion that she lost the 22 election because she was a victim of election fraud. So she has repeatedly landed herself on the short list for Trump's 2024 running mates, thanks to her slavish display of definitely MAGA kind of things and definitely a lot of other things. But now several Trump aides are telling the Daily Beast that he is souring on the idea of her being the vice president. She's a shameless, ruthless demagogue who wants power and will do whatever she wants to get it, is what a Trump advisor told the Daily Beast. The advisor added in recent months, Trump has been less enthusiastic about Lake himself. So apparently, while he used to be really in love with her, now he's feeling that she's a spotlight now. So definitely, aren't most politicians spotlight hounds. I thought that was
that's the whole point of being a politician. You're attention whore.
I thought that was the job of being a politician. I don't care whether you were on the left or the right.
Yeah.
I thought the job of a politician was to, to wave your hands and say, "Look at me, I'm here."
Yep. It's a power. It's the ultimate power position. Yeah, I mean it attracts a certain type of person. I mean, you need it. You got to have that kind of a person to be able to handle the job in the first place. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe Trump's souring on her, maybe he isn't. But I don't. The Daily Beast is not. It's for me is not the. I'd have to fact check that story a lot.
You might want to
maybe he's souring on her, maybe he isn't. It's possible. I don't know who his running mate's going to be, but he's going to look at. I would assume like, I don't know. Trump's going to do whatever Trump wants to do, but logically, you would look at who's going to pull you votes, who might get you a state that you need to win. Something like that. Pull a governor out of a state, out of a swing state, or someone at least popular who can pull a swing state your way. I
have a novel idea for you, and you're going to love this one. I mentioned to you, and he is popular in certain camps, and he is definitely popular in various kinds of attitudes and some of the things people enjoy, some of the people things don't enjoy. But how about this for your ticket? By Trump West. So West is the third party candidate, Cornel West, and he definitely has some draw and all in that space. So how about a Trump West candidacy and all along those?
I don't see it happening. Any more than I see a Biden West candidacy happening. And speaking of, and I think West would be better than Kamala. I think pretty much anyone would be better than Kamala at this. West would get. I don't want to give the Democrats any ideas, but West would get him like the fringe vote if they made him like VP. Kamala's out with more word salads. I didn't have a chance to really look at it. I just saw briefly, and she's just like making no sense again, like she always does, and then laughing at the end of it. Some other group. I mean, this is it's like she's less popular than Biden. That's like almost statistically impossible, but it's apparently true.
Nobody's popular as a politician. I told you. I think we're going for a monarchy and everything. There was a mayor of New York, I think he was a Democrat as well, that apparently is going through a divorce. So now people are talking about that and all in that space, because Bill de Blasio was part of a interracial relationship, and sometimes that's become almost passe that people don't even care, but some people do care and everything. But definitely they are going their separate ways and all in that space. But Bill de Blasio and Charlene McRae are separated, and I saw that was a news story that was out there, and they were saying that they weren't necessarily divorcing, but they were going to separate it. I guess try to figure out what was going wrong.
People. We're going to go out and horn dog. We're not attracted to each other anymore. We're going to go out and get it on with other people. It's like a story we don't need to have. Like I read it too, and I'm just like, okay, good, congratulations.
Well, Gwyneth Paltrow used the terms that I had never heard about. Apparently, when she got divorced, but she came up with this term, and maybe that's what they're doing, called conscious uncoupling. So that's what she used to describe the term to describe her divorce from Chris Martin. And celebrity breakups have never been the same. So if you're famous and your split isn't iconic and inspirational, what are you even doing? So apparently there is a new term. It's called conscious uncoupling. So I guess you just make a conscious decision to uncouple and to go your separate ways in whatever those separate ways are. So they said that they're just in an open marriage, and in this day and age, that's only interesting if you broach the idea of non-monogamy to your normal partner just after marrying them, and it ultimately leads him to choose your billionaire father over you. So definitely that could be an issue as well. So that's some of the things that were coming out of the interview and all in that space. But he ran for Congress, and apparently maybe it's a Tinder profile. So
I'm sure he does.
Maybe he's gonna pop up on Tinder. Maybe de Blasio is gonna pop up on Tinder, or one of those other swipe left kind of things in that space. So maybe that's the plan.
Left for de Blasio. Left makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's absurd. And then Gwyneth Paltrow, she's just so pretentious. It's disgusting. It's like, get over yourself. If anyone ever needed to get over themselves, it's Gwyneth, with her vagina candles and her anal bleaching and her, like, whatever, just weird conscious uncoupling. Ugh, she's insufferable.
And apparently De Blasio said that he occasionally had doubts about their marriage because apparently his now separated loved one had previously identified herself as a lesbian. So maybe it was a situation where they were doing that arrangement to win votes. I don't know, but
Yeah,
who
of
knows?
course. I guarantee it was for votes. It was like, De Blasio he was one of these probably the worst mayor in New York history. I mean, Eric Adams, I'm not a big fan of him, but De Blasio was, I believe, far worse. De Blasio was a buffoon. He caused just mayhem in New York with his policies, education, drug, you name it. And then Eric Adams came in, and Eric Adams, these policies are already in place, and he's too much of a chicken ass to change any of them. So it's all spiraling out of control with DA Alvin Bragg, the progressive liberal DA there, and the no cash bail system and all the sanctuaries. It's just and Adams is just sitting there going, do something, change something, Adams, and stop running around like a big crybaby.
Speaking of doing stuff and gaining
calling
something,
people slave owners.
well, speaking of doing something and gaining
Holocaust
stuff,
survivor, a slave owner.
speaking of that and gaining stuff and all along those lines, I did see that one of your other mayors of New York has said, there's this cocaine running around and everything. I've investigated a lot of other things. I've been in the federal government. I've served under Trump. I've done a number of other things. So if you want me to, I will investigate for you. So apparently Giuliani has said that he will investigate the cocaine if folks will just call him in to be the investigator. So you ready for the Giuliani cocaine investigation? Because he said that, look, I'm willing to come in there and investigate and see what the core issues is and what's going on here and come to the bottom of this.
Giuliani needs to drift off. He needs to go away. He's a disaster. I mean, I thought he was an amazing mayor when he was mayor of New York. Outstanding, great job, terrific, bravo. But since then, the cracks have started to to show themselves. He's got like some weird sex slave thing going on with one of his allegedly aides or something. That kind of was in the news and then it wasn't anymore. And he just, he's got a lot. I think he's got a lot of lawsuits on him and just, I don't know. I wouldn't want nothing to do with. He's like toxic to me right now. I wouldn't want to touch him. But at the time, give credit where credit is due. Great mayor of New York. He was terrific. He really fixed things there. He's a great prosecutor in New York. And then, I don't know, he just lost his marbles or something.
He lost his marbles, and now he says that he wants to investigate the case of the cocaine that apparently.
There's nothing wrong with investigating the case, but I mean, he's just looking for his, 15 more minutes of fame. He's like, hey, remember me? Remember? I'm no Biden fan, as you know, but one of the funniest moments, I think it was Giuliani who they thought they were booking a hotel. Do you remember that one where they thought they were getting the Ritz-Carlton or something, or just some hotel, and it wound up being like some body shop because it had the same name but it was different. So they gave this I think it was Giuliani gave a speech.
That's just crazy. But speaking of Biden, and like I said, I might have voted for him once or twice. Who knows what I'll do this next election and all along those lines. But I did remember something that I had forgotten because I was trying to remember a friend of mine who passed away, but she was part of the hearings with Clarence Thomas around Anita Hill. So she was one of the witnesses and was a storyteller, had written a couple of books. And like I said, I can't think of her name, even though she lives here in Durham and all in that space. But then what I had forgotten about was that during those hearings, there was the judicial hearing that was going on, and some people thought it was a great hearing. Some people thought it wasn't all that fair and that it could have been handled better, was actually administered by none other than our current president. So I'd actually forgotten about that, but then I was looking up.
I forgot about that.
Yes, he was actually the person in charge of the Clarence Thomas hearings and all in that space. So when Clarence,
I don't consider that a feather in his cap either. I mean, there he is again being racist, going against an African-American guy, just trying to, get his judgeship, but he doesn't want him to get it because he's black.
Like you said, well, in that case, he was actually, I think, defending Clarence Thomas because he
was defending Clarence Thomas. He actually
helped Clarence Thomas. He actually is the one that helped kick out the case. Yes, he kicked out the Anita Hill case.
So wait, he was pro Thomas?
In that case, he was pro Thomas.
All right. Well, again, credit where credit is due. Good for him. That's all right. Good, Joe. Good job. pro Clarence, and then it all went to hell after that, I guess.
Yep. So he was actually on Thomas's side in that particular case, and not on Anita's side.
Okay, I just assumed Anita, but yeah, okay. If you're a pro Clarence, all right, respect. Right. I like Clarence Thomas. I don't think it's fair to the left because they don't like him. They call him a white supremacist. That always makes me nuts. It's like, really? Come on. You could do better with your insults. Biden is a confusing, he's a real chameleon because he was pro-segregation for a while coming up. He didn't want busing, black kids to white schools. And then he's like Mr. Liberal. He's a chameleon. He's a political operative. He's the consummate political operative. He's completely corrupt, and his family has followed in his path.
But now he's the president. I mean, I thought that was part of the prerequisites was to be an operative in any form of politics.
Well, that's why people like Trump so much, because he came in like, hey, I'm Trump. I'm going to do my own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a couple of folks that have said that. Trump said that. Obama said that. I think even Carter said that, and Clinton. So
Carter. I like Carter now. I didn't like him as a president.
I mean, he was a peanut farmer.
He's probably my favorite president after he was president. Like he just seems like a really good guy. He's always helped building houses and, running around. He's still alive, right? I mean, he's still alive.
As a matter of fact, him and Rosalind just celebrated I want to say it was their 77th anniversary. So they've been married forever and everything. We already double checked that, but I know I was looking online. They were talking about this. Yeah, here in July, this is their 75th anniversary. I'll tell you the exact date and everything. But yes, it's early today. Jimmy and Rosalind Carter marked their 77th wedding anniversary at home in Plains, Georgia. So they have been married for 77 years. So they got married 77 years ago. That would have been 1946. So they have definitely been out there for a while. And today, literally today, is their 77th wedding anniversary. So
good timing. That was that was his shtick. He's the peanut farmer from Georgia. He's a Georgia peanut farmer.
Yep.
Not a great president, but a good dude. Solid dude.
He's a solid guy, solid person, and all in that way and everything. And so people have their different aspects of what they do and everything. I was not the fan of everything, but there were some things that Reagan did when he was alive that I thought were Reagan great and everything. But I thought he was a really good actor. He was a great actor.
Him and Bonzo or whatever. I never saw any of his films.
Yeah, so he had the westerns and all along those lines.
Westerns, that's true.
Yeah, he was a western kind of guy. So
I love Reagan. I love Reagan. He was by far my favorite president, hands down. 80s were, I think, the best. I mean, the excess of the 80s was nutty. But it was my favorite decade as a human that I've existed in. It was an awesome time in the 80s. Man, let me tell you, ask anyone about the 80s. Like, that was the best. I loved it. The 80s was the greatest.
There was that whole Me Generation Wall Street kind of thing and all in that space that you just kind of alluded to. But yeah, I just had to make sure that we made that official announcement that we now have a baker's dozen. So I'm going to bounce off and let you get back to some more news. So Jeffrey Ahern has announced on Pod TV he is running for president, and I'm going to be his campaign manager. So we have 13 candidates running right now. So Jeffrey Ahern has announced on Pod TV that he is running for president. So we have an even baker's dozen going right now. So I'll beat Christie. That's my goal. I'm going to beat Chris Christie. He's got a bit. I mean, I don't want to be, fat phobic, but Christie, my God, have you seen him? He looks like the Goodyear blimp. That guy's not going to last. I mean, they're going to have to get new furniture for him at the White House if he ever won. And now I'm not joking about that. I mean, have you seen? Google him. All right. Should I go? Let's see. DeSantis makes bold statement. What's his bold statement? Do I want to click on it? Yeah, I'll click on it. Oh, I'll click on that and then I'll do the next one. Let me see. So DeSantis is saying, now again, I'm good on the, not even good, I guess, on the GOP, normal on the GOP, that they're going to have primaries within the party. So the potential the candidates for the presidential nominee to be nominated for the presidential candidate have a chance to debate. The Democrats aren't doing that. They're not allowing it.
they're not allowing it because Joe Biden can't handle it. He's a feeble-minded buffoon. And they don't want to point it out within, I mean, how are they going to, they would have to assault their own members of their own party that to pointing out that Biden is clearly cognitively deficient and can't handle the job. And so the Democrat Party has, again, sequestered free speech, squelched free speech, and is not allowing any form of open debate within their own party and choosing their nominee, which should horrify you if you had a brain. But again, the Democrats, they voted him into office, so it's questionable. And let's talk about the disparity. Me and Mark were just discussing 13 candidates now. Thank you. Maybe. And on the Republican side, on the Democrat side, I think there's 3, right? You got Marianne Williamson, you got Kennedy, and then you got good old big guy Joe. So why only these 3 candidates? Why not more? Because the Democrat Party has clearly put it out there that you are not allowed to run against Joe Biden unless you're a rogue Democrat, which both Marianne Williamson and Robert Kennedy Jr. Both are. They're both, they're outliers. So of course they're the only ones, who are just like, to hell with you guys. You guys don't like us anyways. We're going to run against them. Everyone else is falling in line in lockstep and just sat back and okay, we'll take one for the team. It's just being polite as a country, we're already screwed from the 3 years that this Yutz has been in power. Got to dig out of that hole. And these idiots are going to let them, ideally, if everything works out in their favor, let them give them another 4 years or however long it lasts before word salad Kamala takes the helm. Oh, heaven help us if that happens. Back to DeSantis, and I'm a big DeSantis fan. DeSantis commits to first GOP presidential primary debate, regardless of Trump participation, as you said. And I cannot imagine that Trump would not participate. I just don't see that happening. I mean, Trump, he could threaten that he won't participate, but I don't see him not participating. I think it would be a mistake. But again, Trump does his own thing. So you try to apply like your own thought process, but Trump does what he wants to do, and it seems to work very well for him. So good that the debate will happen, and I would almost guarantee Trump will be involved in it. I can't see any scenario where he wouldn't be. Just crazy. So getting back to Dems and their lust for bringing this country down at all costs, it seems. They now want to make it legal. And this is, they want everybody to be able to vote, everybody that they can control, everybody who has, they feel is easily manipulated. So, of course, they want young kids to vote. They want 16-year-olds to vote. Those are gimme votes for Democrats. If you in a liberal area or a close area, these kids have been indoctrinated in these Democrat schools for their whole lives. So they instantly hate Republicans. They're incapable of free thought, of logic, of reason, because that's what the Democrat controlled school boards have this squashed out of them. And so, these are gimme votes, and they need them because more and more people who are developing cognitive abilities are realizing what a disaster the Democrat Party has been for them. So they want 16-year-olds. I think it's in Massachusetts. To be able to vote. And of course, they want illegals to be able to vote too, because that's the whole reason for the wide open border. Make no mistake about it. It's not Biden's just like, oh yeah, everybody come in, let's love each other. No. Everybody come in and vote Democrat. That's the deal. So everybody going to come in, and then, especially in these liberal cities, areas that, are getting less liberal by the day because people are just like, even the liberals are like, oh, this is a nightmare. My friend got stabbed. The 911 hold times are off the charts. The cost of living is high. You name it. It's bad. It's in a liberal city. So they need these new influx of voters to dupes to vote Democrat in the next election in order so they can maintain power. So this massive voter drive, and with it, fentanyl and sex trafficking and everything is coming across the border. And they want to make everybody a citizen, and they want everybody, the younger, the better, to be able to vote. If they could, they would probably lower the age or restrict the age. If you're like over, say, 60, 65, you wouldn't be able to vote because you probably would vote Republican. You've got wisdom, ideally. You've lived your life. You've seen what communism and socialism done. You may have even fought in a war to prevent it. So you realize the dangers of the left. So they wouldn't want you to vote. They want some dopey kid who they've been, telling to hate Trump for his whole school career to vote Democrat in the next election. Duh. All right, let's talk about what's going on in the New York Post. It's sad. I usually don't do the sad stories because they're sad. Let's be upbeat. But yeah, so mom of a CVS worker charged with murder and fatal stabbing of serial shoplifter. He said acted in self-defense. So you got a serial shoplifter, there'll be a court case and they'll figure out what happened. But serial shoplifter, that alone should be a trigger. Should be something that you would be serial. Really? Why? How is that possible? Why would a person who shoplifts be able to continue shoplifting? Because it's New York. Because it's a liberal city. Because there is no consequence for shoplifting. There isn't. That's why people keep doing it. That's why more people keep doing it. It's why stores keep closing. Go to San Francisco. You've got the downtown area decimated. Stores can't stay open. Nordstrom, Target's got everything locked up. CVS is closed. The Westfield Mall, the biggest mall, that just closed. Old Navy's gone. I mean, it's a long list. Not even counting the mom and pop shops, Whole Foods. They can't stay in business because people just come and steal everything and leave. If you have a business model where customers need to pay for your goods and services for you to stay in business, you can't succeed in San Francisco. You can't stay in business. You just watch all your merchandise walk out the door and I guess sit there and smile. What else are you going to do? So this is the liberal utopia. Now, why would people do that? Because they get away with it, because there's no consequences for it, because store policies prohibit employees from stopping them, because store policies prohibit employees from even calling the police, because store policies prohibit them from even filming them. A guy just got fired. I think it was in California, probably, but it could have been any liberal crap city. He worked at the store as a supermarket, but the guys are stealing laundry detergent, like $500 worth of laundry detergent. They're very casual about it. They put it in their car and they walk it out to the car. He's not doing it. He's filming them, and he took off like the tin foil that they put over the license plate so to get the plate. Never touched them. He's making comments that they're thieves. Well, you hurt their feelings. Oh, boo-hoo. So they fired him. Now, meanwhile, because of the video, the police actually were able to catch the shoplifters, although big deal. It's California. That's like a misdemeanor ticket. In California, because of in Los Angeles and San Francisco, places like that, they have something called Prop 47, which means if you steal up to $950 worth of goods, it's a misdemeanor crime. It was lowered from a felony to a misdemeanor. So it's a ticket. It's like a parking ticket. You're not going to jail. You probably won't even get the ticket. The only reason the cops went after this guy was because it became a big news story. So, and again, I just don't support stores. I don't support governments. I don't support anyone who doesn't understand the concept of deterrence. And so here you have a shoplifter, a serial shoplifter. This doesn't happen if this shoplifter, after a 7th or 8th or 9th or 10th or whatever, 12th time shoplifting, goes to jail. He's not out to be killed. He's not out to kill someone. He's where he should be. He's incarcerated. Jesus. Makes me nuts. The Britney Spears backhand thing. That's messed up. Britney Spears, in case you didn't know, went up to a guy named Victor. He's an NBA guy, or will be. Victor again, he's newer. I don't know how to say his name. Wembanyama. And asked for an autograph. And didn't ask. Actually, she grabbed his back and like tap, 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 or whatever, trying to get his autograph, his attention. So the security guard, big dude, bang, backhand, knocks her to the ground. Like, what the hell? Look at is this really a big threat? The Britney Spears sized woman just like, hey, I mean, this is what happened. He's a very popular guy. This must happen constantly. And you're just going to backhand her? What the hell's the matter with you? And the NBA stars like, oh, he's on his security team side, probably because he doesn't want to get sued, but I hope he does because of his response. His response should have been, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm going to fire the security team. There's no excuse for this. His response is, well, she was trying to grab at me. Shut up. You're a 7'7" dude. It's Britney Spears. I don't know. Was she 5'4"? I don't know. You really? You're in imminent danger that your nut security team had a cracker in the head. Jeez, man. Yeah, not great way to enter the NBA, dude. Like, people just apologize. Be in the wrong, even if you're not directly in the wrong. Just, I am so sorry. Is it such a hard thing? For him, it is, and so now it's going to blow up and become this big thing. And good, jackass. Jackass by relation. Hiring this, you're responsible for your people, man. Let's see. We keep rocking and rolling here. This crazy woman, racist, lunatic. I didn't see the whole thing. It just popped up. Too cruel for pool. The Post. I do love it. It's the punniest newspaper out there, and I do enjoy them. Bikini clad woman. Already you got my interest. I know that's terrible. Whatever. Bikini clad woman goes on racially charged rant against family at Colorado apartment complex, and she's been outed. And she's going to get canceled or whatever. And, I don't like racists. I hate racists. So I have no problem when they're getting canceled. I don't mind when people get. I don't want to say get canceled, but I don't mind when an actual racist suffers the consequences for being a racist. But just because you have a differing opinion from someone that doesn't jog with the leftist ideology and they're just like racist, no. I think differently than you do. Where everyone's individual. If we're all not in lockstep, unless you're a Democrat, and then you all have to be. That's why there's only two candidates running against Biden. Both of them are outlier rogues. Everyone else is dialed in. Nope, not on the program. Can't do that. Nope, no debate. Yeah, great idea. Let's not have any free speech within the party. Yep, Joe's our guy. Corrupt Uncle Joe. But I'm digressing. So yeah, she's probably going to get fired, as she should, from her job. But again, these people who get canceled, you got it. I feel like you give everyone a second chance. So hopefully she gets her ass together. From the video, I don't think so, but I wish the best for everybody. I hope she has an epiphany, a come to Jesus moment, and she welcomes everybody into her heart. We'll see what happens. Megyn Kelly. I do love Megyn Kelly. I do enjoy her. Megyn Kelly, a twist knife in woke Disney. See, this is why I like her. Plus, she's incredibly attractive. Megyn Kelly, twist knife in woke Disney after it lost $900 million on box office flops. Yeah, because you get woke, go broke. It's simple. They woke it up, and these things tank and good, and so they're laying off people. Good. And their parks are way overpriced to begin with. So I have no problem with any of this. If you continue to follow the path of wokeness instead of the path of entertainment, the path of unity, then you should suffer the financial ramifications. Again, it's called consequences. Without consequences, you have the left. I don't know, pick a movie, pick a woke Disney film, and you'll like a Lightyear, whatever it was, that train wreck, just any Disney or Pixar movie where people are making out, saying we don't need it. Just run the film. We don't need a lot of sex in the Disney, in the G-rated the Pixar films. You're kissing, whatever. Entertain us. That's why we're not coming for woke lectures. Clearly, you're losing $900 million in box office. No one wants to see your crap woke lecture. Entertain us. Look at the Mario movie. Killed, destroyed, amazing, phenomenal. Why? Because it was goals to entertain kids. There was no agenda. There's no woke. You don't have to have a woke agenda. And if you do, good. You should lose money, dopes. Just do your job. Entertain. Hey, Mark, how's it going? You froze, I think. There you are.
Yes, Big Ed. I had to bring up an issue that I thought you would love getting a kick out of, and I actually saw the commercial. But speaking of a woke agenda and getting a reverse woke agenda and everything, apparently the 5 folks at Budweiser tried to clean up their act, and they ran an ad involving the Folds of Honor, which is a scholarship program for the United States Armed Forces. And already they are getting a lot of flack because I guess folks are still mad over the whole thing with Mulvaney. So they are definitely going on. And that happened on the July 4th ad where they are featuring members of the United States Armed Force discussing the educational scholarship program that they have called Folds of Honor. And apparently they said that they've been believing in this program for 13 years and that they were honoring what is going on and all in that space. But I'm sure it is a reaction to the earlier conversation. So sometimes if you try to do a makeup, then the folks don't always like the makeup because apparently there is folks that are disgusted at what happened on this 4th of July ad and all in that space, even though, like I said, it's a ad where it's a big football field and they're talking about how many scholarships they are giving to
they haven't addressed the underlying issue. They have not apologized to their primary consumers, to their brand loyalists. They refuse to apologize. So all this is seen as just another opportunity to apologize where they haven't, where they're digging in their heels and saying, no, we're never going to apologize. We're never going to. People are like, all right, we're just not going to drink your beer. You can come up with all these, sentimental Americana commercials you want. What they need to do is say, hey, do a commercial where they fire their CEO and make that the commercial. Look what we're doing. They bring a camera and they fire him. And then he's like, what? Huh? You're fired. Get out of here. You did a terrible job. You never apologized. We want our loyal customers back. And then they bring in some American patriot guy come out to be the new woke CEO and not woke CEO. Or they got the same problem. And then now they're like, all right, yeah, give me my Bud Light. Sales go back.
Well, and you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. We're actually gonna name the guy, but apparently on April 14th, Bud Light CEO Brendan Whitworth responded to the controversy, meaning the earlier controversy, with the statement, "We never intended to be a part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer." So I guess that's what they thought they were doing with this particular commercial, was bringing people together over a beer. There's and this
apology. There's never been an apology. He has never said sorry, and the horse has left the barn. It's well past time. He's got to go. They got to fire him, and even then, I don't know what help. But at this point, why the hell not? What do they got to lose?
Like I said, I saw the commercial. I thought it was a brilliant commercial, and in the sense of
commercial, but it still doesn't address the underlying issue. Isn't that they're whether or not they're supporting this scholarship fund? It's just their complete disregard and disrespect for their core customers. And I drank Bud Light in college. I'm like a big Bud Light guy. It's not that good a beer. You only really drink it because of brand loyalty, of what you associate with it. And once you lost that, which they have, why wouldn't you just drink Modelo, which is what people are doing, or some other beer? There's no.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second. I got to tease you now. You can't drink Modelo. Modelo's down from a Mexican society and all of that. So
yo hablo español. Me gustan mucho las latinas porque muy bonitas.
Next thing I know, you're going to tell me that you like the beer that I like, which is actually a beer from Holland, because I am actually a fan of Heineken and a fan of Yuengling.
Yeah, Yuengling. Yeah, I'm just using Modelo as an example. My favorite beer, I like Guinness, I like Heineken, I love Yuengling because I don't get that very often. Not in the right area for it. It's probably at the store. And actually, also, although it's a Budweiser product now, so I don't know, but I still, don't tell anyone I drink it still. I like, it used to be an independent brewery down the way, and it was, and then they bought Golden Road Brewery. They make good beer, but they got bought out by Bud Light because they were too good. And,
I'm a big fan. But I was just curious as you were talking about that, because I did think about that Fold of Honors commercial and all along those lines.
It's a great commercial. In any other time, if any other company ran it, I'd be like, all right, yeah, America. But
patriotism and all of that stuff.
Bud Light, you're like.
But we do need to give a shout out, and I'm going to let you go back to the rest of the news, but we got to get a shout out to the microbreweries. We do have several of them around here in North Carolina, and I'm a big fan of the microbreweries, and they do some amazing job both here on the East Coast and the West Coast and a number of other places as well. And sometimes they even are branded according to the communities, because I know there's one in Harlem called Harlem Brewer that Celeste Beatty has done, and there are a number of other great ones that are out here, including some that are even in this area, like Full Steam and some others that exist. So in Ponosaurus. So there are some great microbreweries out there as well. So big shout out to the microbreweries.
Yeah, I enjoy good beer, which is why I never drank Bud Light. I shouldn't say in college. If it was in a an ice chest and I'm at a party, I'll grab it. But not anymore. Not anymore. All right, I'm almost done, but I want to just check out the dailymail.uk. It's always interesting. They usually have good stories there. They have more in-depth stories, I find. I don't know. There's more information in them. Vanna White thinks Wheel of Fortune bosses have a lack of respect for her and believe she's replaceable. Well, you are, Vanna. You and Pat are a team. You've been there forever, but you're also like near Walker age, where you're going to have like a little thing with the tennis balls and you go on, turn the letter and then go back. They might have like a moving walkway for you, just slide you out, change the letter, slide you back. Vanna, we all age. You and Pat were a team. If you want to stay on, but don't make a big stink about, them not, giving you, employment for life. It's not a government job. Anyway, Vanna, she thinks there's a lack of respect for her, and she believes that they believe she's replaceable. Again, Vanna, we are all replaceable. It's only your ego that makes you think you aren't. After hiring Ryan Seacrest as Pat's successor without consulting her, well, Vanna, I don't think. Here's a newsflash, Vanna. I don't think they want you to stay. I think they were kind of hoping when Pat left, you would too, and just retire gracefully. I don't know. You gotta have some hobbies, right? You gotta have some stuff. Go live your life. Go enjoy yourself. The wheel was great. How long do you want a job to last for? Dear God, Vanna, don't get so greedy.
I mean, what would her hobbies be? Playing Scrabble? I mean, she was the letter turner for a number of years and everything, or maybe she's going to play.
She could go to Scrabble games and turn the letters over for people. Like, she wouldn't play the game, but she would just be there to turn everybody's letters over. Like, keep sharp with her skills, with her skill set. Because Vanna, nobody else can, flip a letter around, and she doesn't even flip letters anymore. I think she just taps on them, and then someone on a computer, just presses a button. I haven't seen Wheel in a while, but I think that's how it works.
It's been a minute since I've seen Wheel. I do occasionally watch Jeopardy and everything. It's been a minute since I've watched that as well. But yeah, her main job was to do the letters and to kind of like do the Price is Right, show the gift, whatever the gift was that was given and everything. So that was the job as the hostess.
If you can call it a job, that's probably the best job anyone's ever had. Tap. Walk out, walk back.
Get paid lots of money.
Greatest job ever created.
Get paid lots of money for doing it, because I think she had a pretty lucrative contract.
Oh my God, her and Pat are mega millionaires. I mean, it's not like she wasn't getting paid before, and for nothing. They film those things. From what I understand, they film them all in like a very short period of time. They just kind of crunch them all together, and they knock them all out. And so then they film the whole season relatively quickly, and then they got the rest is just free time for them. They don't go to work every day.
Free time, do whatever they want to and everything. Because isn't basically, like I said, it's been a minute since I watched Wheel of Fortune, but isn't Wheel of Fortune basically just glorified Hangman? Because as I recall the game of Hangman, it's basically a glorified version of Hangman, isn't it?
Yeah, you just pick the letters, and that's it. It's a Hangman. Whoever guesses it first wins. Yeah, basically it is. It's a glorified version of Hangman with some bells and whistles on it.
Right. They got paid millions, if not billions.
Millions. They get residuals, and I'm sure like they've had it worked into their contracts when they're bought by Game Show Network, or they get money off of the purchase of they're loaded. Let it go.
All those game shows are loaded, and definitely people have had to let go. Bob Barker had to let go of Price is Right, and a number of people have had to let go of a number of things. Alex Trebek had to let go of different things.
Alex was great till the end. I always loved Alex, and I mean Vanna and Pat were.
They were all great. I will say, I know this is off the topic of news, which you usually talk about, but I will say that on the game show, and I used to have it on my phone, one of the greatest games, because it was silly, and also it was just great when the thing would come out in the end and everything. But it was really fun watching and or playing Press Your Luck, because they would have that
the whammies
thing, the whammies.
I love Press Your Luck. That was the best, because that was like old school game show with the big wheel, and then the little guy would come out, like the little cartoony guy, the whammy. That was great. I love that show.
Yes, I love that show, and I also loved Family Feud, just because some of those feuds would be quite hilarious, because they would be sitting there arguing with each other over whatever they were trying to decide and everything.
And Steve Harvey is his. I took it to a new level for me, because he's so funny. He makes he's roasted. He roasts everybody. Like Richard Dawson would kiss everybody and hug and squeeze, and grab them inappropriately. Steve Harvey just tears people up. So I still watch the clips. Like, I'll see Steve Harvey, like someone get the stupid answer, and Steve Harvey's just like, dope.
Get away from here.
Get away from here.
It was a great show. Just like I remember back in the day, and I'm going to bounce off again, the Let's Make a Deal. But that was also fun, because people would do some very silly things in order to get the deal. So they would
the absurdity of the audience, the costumes. Yeah, I mean, it was comedy. It was just
was totally comedy, and it was even had sitcoms that played into it. Like, I think there was a I Love Lucy episode, and maybe even an episode with Happy Days and a couple of other shows that featured as a backdrop.
I got to go too, but as a tie-in, I've been on 2 game shows. I was on the Gong Show, not the Chuck Berry version, or Chuck Barris version, but the more recent one. And then I was on Mental Samurai with Rob Lowe, and I actually won 10 grand. So that was cool. And then I got beat by a guy who married his cat.
He married his cat?
That was his shtick. Like he legally married a cat or something, but like he was a ringer. Like he won like 3 weeks in a row. You know, like I got 10,000, and he was the returning champion. So he comes back, he's got to beat my time, and he's just like bang, 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 bang. And he gets to the last question, and I don't know if he just paused for dramatic effect or whatever, but he looked like he was struggling with it. And then
well, two things I got to ask you, and then one is that even legal? I mean, I have had cats in the past, but I don't know that I would ever marry the cat.
You got to go back and watch the episode where they do the backstory on him. But yeah, like that was like his backstory was like he married his cat.
I'm gonna have to find out how you legally married the cat and everything.
I don't know.
But coming back to the politicians and the game shows and everything, maybe that's what we got to do for the election. So we will get out 3 boxes like they used to do on one of those shows that we were just talking about, and we'll get out 3 boxes, and then the contestants will come out, and we'll have a contestant representing the electoral, and they will pick the box, and the box will be our president for 2024. So we'll do let's make a deal version of presidential elections.
I'll take the box over Biden anytime. Well, give me whatever's in the box. If it's a goat, all right, that's fine too. they would do that where the door would open and there'd be like.
No, I saw that on Twitter. I saw that on I think it was Instagram. It was somebody there was a young lady walking around. I don't know what she did to get the objects, but she asked the person that whether they wanted $10 or the box. And the first gentleman took the $10 and the second gentleman took the box. And I think the $10 gentleman was a little bit upset because in the box was a PS5. So after he opened the box, there was a PS5. So that was rough because the first guy's like, "I'll take the $10," and then the second guy was like, "I'll take the box." And when he opened the box, he had the PS5.
If it was $10, I'd take the box too, man. That's just $10. What's $10 these days?
Exactly, and that's
the box is probably with inflation probably cost you $10.
The box by itself might be $10. Exactly. Crazy. Well, I'll let you get out to your closing, but as always, it's been fun giving you a hard time.
Yeah, enjoy it. Thank you, Mark. Always love talking to you, bro. So I'm wrapping up, but have a great week, everybody. And again, check me out on Cameo. I guess next week by next Friday it'll be up. I'll give you more information, and I'll do I don't know, whatever you do on Cameo. So like again,
can I get on Cameo? Yeah. I've got a decent voice. Can I get on Cameo? Can I do stuff on the left side? What do you have to do to get on Cameo?
I don't know. I got an email from them. And they, I guess I have enough subscribers on TikTok and Rumble, and they're like, "Yeah, you can do cameos now." I'm like, "Okay." So all I'm gonna do is I gotta do it today, or I'll do it this weekend. But you put up a picture, I think, and then I fill in the whatever your price is. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm doing. I can explain it in detail next week after I do it. But hey, I'll take it. Details. I'll take it. I've seen $25. You get a birthday greeting. I'll pep talk your kid, or I'll insult your liberal friend. One of those things. That could be my pitch right there.
Cameo, if you're listening. Cameo, if you're listening,
I'll tell whoever you want me to insult.
Cameo, if you're listening, I'll do the opposite. So Cameo, if you're listening, I'll do the opposite.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I could charge $1,000 a Cameo, but if I don't, nobody buys one. I'm gonna have to lower my price from 25. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too optimistic. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We're gonna go out with your Jeremy's razors, but I'm gonna go out.
Thank you. Yes, Ahern 15. All right, buddy. Have a great weekend, and God bless everyone. And I'll see you next Friday at 10 o'clock. Bye, everyone. Hello and welcome to Newsday with Jeff Ahern. I'm your host, Jeff Ahern. Today's top story. Remember Harry's Razors, the company that stopped advertising with the Daily Wire after hearing something as innocuous as boys are boys and girls are girls? They called it inexcusable. Look, I know you're a grooming company, but you don't have to take the grooming part quite so literally. I'm surprised that razors don't come with a rainbow handle and a discount code for a sex change, especially after deciding to put their emphasis on pandering over product. But credit where credit is due. Their product is great at exfoliating. It exfoliated conservative customers right off of their balance sheet, taking a straight razor to profits and leaving a once loyal customer base with a really bad case of razor burn. And for what? Not being in lockstep with leftist wokeism? This has to be the greatest shaving blunder since someone gave Sweeney Todd a chair at the local barbershop. But who can blame Harry's razors for buckling under the pressure of a Twitter user's complaints? I mean, this guy had 2 followers. Look out, Kim Kardashian. Here comes what's his face. And I bet one of his followers was probably trying to sell him crypto. Harry's claimed they were pulling their ads due to a values misalignment. What values? Woke grandstanding? Progressive preening? All you did with this woke publicity stunt was make your entire company as disposable as your razors. Because there's a new shave in town, Jeremy's Razors. Because I don't want another woke lecture. I want a tungsten handle, flip back trimmer, shave fit for a man. Blades sharp as truth that cut through bearded stubble like common sense cuts through liberalism. A razor for deep shaving deplorables, for flyovers with facial hair. A man's razor from a company still willing to admit there's such a thing as a man. Let Harry's go in on the trans market. I guess they figure those guys are going to shave more than most people anyways. Especially if they want to appear even remotely feminine. I mean, it's bad enough you're going to break every female sports record while sporting male genitalia. So why do you got to rub it in sporting a 5 o'clock shadow? It's time to take a stand against woke cancel culture with a great clean shave. And don't forget to lather up with Jeremy's shaving cream before you do. Made with green tea oil to calm irritation and reduce redness. Almond oil, which creates a cushion for your blade. And cocoa butter, which reduces bumps. All available at jeremy'srazors.com. Go there right now and use promo code Ahern15 to get 15% off your next purchase. Stick it to the man, or whatever Harry's identifies as. So head over to jeremy'srazors.com and tell them Jeff sent you.